Hi there, gorgeous. Welcome back to my channel. I am Nicole Elissa, and today I am going to share with you the top secrets for you to be treated like the goddess that you really are and find the love that you've been craving and you've been desiring your whole life. If you're new to my channel, I am an intuitive love coach that helps trailblazer and leader women. We are all amazing from all over the world who are committed to attract love and to not settle. So with that being said, I want to share with you aspects of how to be treated like a goddess, not just by men, but by the universe, by life, right? Feminine energy is an energy of us being in relationship to things, right? We are an energy of union, of communion, of unity. So we're always in relationship to all things. We're constantly co-creating. And what we do has an impact on what we allow ourselves to receive. Taking into consideration today's video is going to be really special, so you make sure you watch this video until the very end, because I'm going to be sharing with you manifesting tips and tricks that really do make a difference, based on the law of attraction, but just in general, like your feminine energy and how what you're sending out in your energy, in your words and your actions, what it's saying, and how you can really shift that so that you can receive more, okay? So the first thing that I want to share with you is that in order for you to be treated like a goddess, I'm going to start with the most obvious one, but not pay attention to this because this is really big. Are you treating yourself like a goddess, right? You have to treat yourself like a goddess first. What does that look like for you? In your energy field, are you showing up like a goddess? Are you treating yourself right? Are you paying attention to your most important needs, wants, desires? I really strongly recommend for you to treat yourself like a goddess, right? Because we cannot expect from the universe, from life, from men to treat us in a specific way if we are not treating ourselves that way, right? I have noticed over the years that men love about you what you love about yourself. And also, sometimes what happens is that men can pick up things in your vibration, in your energy, that you are not picking up on. Ways in which you let yourself go, ways in which you tolerate maybe abuse, or they're trying to check your temper or stuff like that. Like, if you are not aware when people are trying to check your temper or they're trying to push your buttons, number one, I personally believe that we don't need to be doing that at all. But that's a sign that when we are lacking in our self-care and our self-love, we can sometimes miss when people are showing up in less than stellar ways with us, right? And that is okay. It doesn't matter where you are in life. I have worked with, women from all over the world. It doesn't matter the level of success you have. None of those things matter. What matters is, are you constantly working on your self-love? Are you working on increasing it? Because that is our number one duty. And I really do believe it's a duty for us as feminine women to constantly be in a space of increasing your self-love. Because when we increase our self-love, we make the world a better place. We really do. If we are channels for receiving, right? We are the embodiment of receiving in the world, energetically speaking. As a society, we could all learn to receive more. And one of the ways in which we do that as women is in devoting time, energy, money, resources to increasing our capacity to love ourselves in a way that is integral, but it also is, I'm seeing a word here because English is not my first language, but I'm picking up on a word intuitively where, okay, it needs to be sustainable. I'm also an engineer, so I like to see things in a way that they have a mass, because love isn't a topic where we think it's sort of ethereal. Yes, it is, but it also has structure. I'm not gonna go deeper into that, but it does, because we need to work on increasing our self-love in a sustainable way. Sometimes we can try to go increasing our self-love in a way that is destructive or in a way that detracts from our energy, from what we allow ourselves to receive. And yes, I'm going to address a little bit about that in today's video. And I'm also going to make another video going very deeply into this topic about how it can backfire when we are trying to increase our self-love and we notice that it backfires. So if you want to actually watch that video, definitely thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below. The more you give me content on how I can support you, ideas, I would love to do them for you to support you. So going back to what I was saying, we want to increase our self-love in a sustainable way. As women, we need to be learning how to receive more consistently in a sustainable way. And that's what I'm going to highlight. So with that being said, you got to treat yourself right. You got to be your own goddess, right? Are you doing that, right? And here's what I'm going to share about this with you that's going to make the full difference, right? Your motives need to really come from a place of love. Your motives cannot come from a place of competition with other women, feeling inadequate on the inside, or trying to figure out like who's the superior woman or not, because that's one of the ways in which it's going to backfire. Like it really is going to backfire. I've seen that, because it's like no matter what you do, you're not feeling satisfied on the inside, because your worth is not dependent on what's on the outside. It's dependent on you, and you trusting that you're here, like you're valuable, you're worthy, and you are a unique universe, right? I always say this when my Goddess of Love programs with my clients, that the feminine, like, see yourself as the universe, right? Like you are your own universe. You gotta love your universe. And there's always gonna be somebody that is gonna be madly in love with your universe. And that's it. Like the universe is so vast that another person, like the person doesn't need to be looking somewhere else. But if you are doubting yourself consistently, you're feeling like there's going to be somebody else out there that's bigger or better than you, then you are adding destructive energy to your universe. Like it's like a universe that's I'm looking it's a universe that's collapsing, right? Like, so when you know that you are, right, when you take on the principle of I am, right, nothing can destroy you, right? Like you're just gonna grow and you're just gonna blossom the more you love yourself more, and the more that you give to yourself more, right? So really take that into consideration. What does it look like for you to treat yourself like a goddess? For each woman, it's for each woman it's different. But what does it look like for you? Okay, this is one of the most important things that I want to bring up, because for me, for example, I need to give my morning to myself, right? I need to fill up. I know what fills me up, so I have to be paying attention to that. And I cannot leave that as a last thing to do when I'm exhausted. If we're going to talk about feminine energy and our cycles as well, like when we fill up, we have more to receive. We are also saying to the universe that we love to receive, but then we also have more to give. Like we're more loving in our nature, right? So that's number one that I want to say. Do you put yourself first, middle, or last? And another thing that I want to say about this is when you put yourself middle, first, or last, like how are you treating other people, right? Like you want to treat people right. You want to be there in a good way. It's about being sustainable with our energy rather than trying to show one up another person, or be doing it with the word is resentment, resistance, etc. Like it's just about loving yourself and adding love to the world. Why is this important? For some reason, I've noticed that with the universe, when we show up in ego, when we show up with a petulant or childish behavior, either it's with men or with the universe, we don't get what we want, right? We have to be good listeners. We have to add love to the world. So when we are behaving in such a way, we detract from our level of attraction or light energy or life force or magnetism, because somewhere we're believing that we're not receiving enough. So it's about being consistent in our vibration and our energy around being a goddess, right? Like fill up, fill up, fill up always in a good way. Second, we're going to talk about, are you accepting, in order for you to be treated like a goddess, are you accepting your needs, your wants, and your desires in a good way? What are your desires? What is it when a new desire pops up in your vibration? You feel it in your body. It feels like you're delicious. It feels rich. It feels enlightening. Like, what do you do with that? Do you put it to the side? Do you struggle with it mentally or emotionally? Do you feel sometimes like it's going to be difficult for you to get something, or you know that you're worthy of it, but you doubt that it's going to come to you? What happens in your body when you feel a new desire come up into your reality? that how you respond or how you react when a new desire comes into your reality really demonstrates how much you are allowing yourself to receive it, okay? So if you want to be treated like a goddess, you got to treat your desires with reverence. How can I fulfill this desire for myself? I am so open to receive it. How can I magnify my energy so that I can receive it and I feel good about it? So in that process, maybe I've noticed a lot of women who are very successful, sometimes they don't allow themselves to receive more because they feel like others are going to judge them, friends, etc. You want too much, you're asking for too much, you're asking for a man that doesn't exist. All of those things. Look, your desires are your desires. And if you want to have super rich, amazing love, you want a man that is consistent, a man that provides, a man that protects, a man that, like, his depth matches your own, like, own that, right? Because when you dilute, am I saying it correctly? Like, when you dilute your desires, you are watering yourself down. Number one, the man cannot pick up your vibration that way. And in that fear of being too much or asking for too much, or even just not because others are saying it to you, but because you feel like you're looking at things around you, you're not seeing it come to you yet, it doesn't matter. That doubt that you have is something that you can clear, that you can release energetically, so that you can trust yourself more. You can own your magnetic power of your feminine power of attraction, right? I always recommend a lot women to clear whatever doubt they have, because it makes you own your magnetic power, your feminine power of attraction. And for those of you that's wondering what's clearing is, we hold emotions, feelings, ideas in our energy that sometimes are contradicting one another, that make us split our energy, make us split our power, feminine power of attraction. And when our energy is split, right, in that doubt and in that desire, then we lose sight of the fact that we can attract everything that we want, but we actually need to really go deeper in owning that desire and knowing how to attract it by eliminating whatever resistance we have in our energy, so that with bigger power, like when our energies are working together in sync for something, we just easily attract it, and then you become more like instant manifestors. But if you are doubting that you can have something, or you are doubting that it's possible for you, or you're wronging yourself for your desire, then you water it down. You keep on looking on things on the external to determine what you can have, and that does affect you. It affects how you feel about yourself. So you want to look about that. You want to be at peace with your wants and your desires. If you put a cap to what you allow yourself to have, then look at that. Work towards that, because at the end of the day, to be a goddess, we want to work on receiving more in a sustainable way, of course, right? Because it needs to come from true self-love, not from, I hear, competition, feeling like a victim, feeling not good enough. Like, we need to start bridging that gap and working ourselves, because it only plays against us when we are not feeling that way. And then when you are attracting a man and you're wondering, like, but he's not treating me like a goddess. Well, are you treating yourself like a goddess, right? Are you entertaining people that are not treating you right? What is that saying? So we always want to be looking at whatever is that clash that makes us not commit to our word, what we believe that we are worthy of. We want to be in alignment with that. And in order for you to do that, you have to be audacious. Like, you have to be your own leader. You have to stand up for what you believe in, right? And commit to that, because if you want commitment from somebody, you have to commit to yourself, right? It's just law. The last piece that I want to mention around here is allowing yourself to feel good and increasing that capacity to feel even better, okay? And this is where I'm going to address a little bit about things being sustainable in a way for feminine energy. And this is really interesting. So if you're up until this moment, make sure you watch this until the very end, because this is an intuitive message that I always get and that I always see when it comes to attraction and magnetizing things to you. Feeling good, right? As women, we want to feel good. Now, with that being said, there's something about how we go about it, okay? We can go about feeling good in a way that is destructive, and in a way that is adding to us in general. And how do we go about feeling good in a destructive way? Well, we go about feeling good in a destructive way where we do not, where we are constantly looking for pleasure, and pleasure to the point of that is the most important thing. And on the other side, it needs to come. I'm going to mention it. I'm seeing a graphic description here, and I was trying to change it, but that's the message, and I'm going to actually describe it this way. If you're not familiar with chakras, just think about energy centers. But we all have energy centers, and one of the that represent our love or self-acceptance, pleasure, receiving, grounding, how we feel like we belong, or a connection with source, all of that. And so we have our sacral chakra, where it's the area where where your uterus is at, and in that area we hold a lot of energy for pleasure, how we engage with pleasure. And when we are not connecting with our other chakras, right, that brings a sense of wholeness to us, we can connect with that sacral chakra just from a place of survival. It's about my pleasure. You can take on an energy of being the single woman that is sort of defensive around attracting men because she believes that she's not going to attract men that really genuinely care for her, or she believes that men are going to be scared of her power, that she just engages in her pleasure in a sense of I'm going to give myself this and this and this and this and this much, but it's always about her pleasure. But she's not working and opening up her heart and allowing real love in. You secretly, really, or not secretly, but you genuinely want love, but you're not working on opening up your heart. And what that means is that you're not opening up your energy to be treated with love from another person, from a man that wants to provide, a man who wants to be there for you. So because there's a secret fear of love within you, you just engage in pleasure to the point of being sort of flippant when it comes to masculine energy. So I invite you to look in your life if that's what's going on, where it's I can give it all to myself, I don't need anyone. Remember, feminine energy is an energy of relationships, and we get to open up to others, and it doesn't matter how others are what others are creating in their reality. You can create your own reality. Bless others and what they're creating. If it's not the best, you can wish them the best, you can have conversations, everything, but it doesn't matter. You get to attract what you want. You have to own your power in this area. So a lot of women, when they feel disempowered, they connect with their sacral chakra, that energy of power, and they're trying to look for power in pleasure because they're secretly afraid of love, and secretly afraid of even receiving from source, and they're just overcharging their sacral chakra to the point where it becomes overburdened, that where all you're seeking is pleasure. But then it backfires, because then men are only seeing you in that energy, because you have to have open energies, right? Your sacral, yes, pleasure, but it needs to be connected with your heart, and it needs to be connected over here, in your crown, in your connectedness, in your true deservedness. You deserve love, and that energy, there needs to be a proper energy flow where everything is vibrating in balance, in a good way, right? It's wholesome. And so when it comes to pleasure, when you try to go out about it in a destructive way, where you become childish about it, or where you make demands of a man but you're not making it of yourself, those things backfire for you always. So it is about working on your energy and your embodiment first, where you know that you have to work on receiving more. It's just how you go about it. You have to open up your heart to how you treat yourself, to how you treat others. You have to look at what is your relationship with men, what are your expectations about men. You cannot make demands on men that you're not making on yourself, right? You have to give it to yourself first and to others in a way. I'm not saying over giving or giving to a man in a way where you feel guilty. No, what I'm saying is work on your love. Really work on your love for yourself, and work on what are the expectations that you have around men, maybe the fears that you have around men. Work on your feminine power of attraction, right? You get to attract wholesome, joyous, healthy love. And only you can do that, okay? Only you can do that. And you have to start looking at if you have unhealthy expectations of yourself and of men, and start aligning your energy to really be in a place where you're treated right. All right, ladies, so let me know what you get from this video. I would love to go deeper with this with you, but this could be, I could make a whole training around this. And it's something that I actually go about it in my Goddess of Love program, because I believe women get to be treated like goddesses, and our energy needs to be flowing.
Bluetooth desconectado.
Right. Sorry.
Connect.
So for some reason I've been forgetting to turn that off, and sometimes it just goes off when it senses a lot of like movement. So I've been working on this with my Goddess of Love program, which the doors are closing up now, like during the last week of November. And it's a 7-month program where we work on your embodiment of being treated like a goddess. It doesn't matter if you felt unattractive. It doesn't matter if you felt like men haven't really chosen you in the past. It doesn't matter if you've been overgiving, or you've only given to yourself last. Like you have to learn how to give to yourself. You have to really give to yourself in a wholesome way, in a sustainable way, where your heart chakra is vibrating love for yourself, for others, and really managing your expectations properly. I'm gonna put a link below if you're curious to know more about Goddess of Love. It is by invitation only, so we're gonna connect. It is a high-level coaching program for women who are committed and ready to attract love no matter what. If you're tired of how people treat you, if you're tired of past relationships where men have done you wrong, even marriages, and you're like, what happened? Well, most of us have been programmed with an energy of women not being fully worthy of receiving, or they have programmed some sort of guilt within us. So around receiving, we need to really shift that so that you allow yourself to receive. You're poised in your receiving. You're like, people just choose to give to you. That is your birthright as a woman, and I would love to really help you. I'm also going to put a link below to one of my really beautiful meditations. It's called Back to My Feminine Essence meditation, and we go really deep in Goddess of Love with this. It's just, I would love to offer it for you as a gift so that you can start shifting some of that energy. I'm looking forward to hear from you, and I can't wait to hear from you soon.